Okay, getting ready to start the second build. I've bent back the things you're supposed to bend back, and I've left the other ones in place. I suppose you could cut all of these separators out. But I think that, at least for the USB, that it makes sense to leave some of these in. But they can be a hassle in terms of trying to get the board into place. This one doesn't want to snap. There we go. That's it. I remember the chip being really easy last time. Let's see if we can keep our luck in place this time. Just as easy as the last time. I have to say, that's one of the most impressive parts about this build, is how easily that's gone together. Okay, now we do the RAM. And went together no problem last time. There you go. As I get the Blu-ray burner going and get ready to mount the hard drives, I can't help but think about the new Mac Pros that just came out and how they don't have Blu-ray drives at all. Not Blu-ray ROMs, not Blu-ray burners. They just don't have them. And I mean, I love Apple products. I have all kinds of iPods, an iPad. I even have an iMac from 2004 that I still use as a music server. Now, the 19 other computers I have, I've built. And for somebody like, and if you're watching this, you and me, the Mac isn't the ideal platform because we like to mess around with what's inside, and they don't want you to do that so much. But for the iPod, I mean, I think that's okay. You could always jailbreak it, do whatever if you felt like it. But I just don't understand. I mean, you know, Steve Jobs doesn't want Sony's Blu-ray technology in the Mac Pro or the iMac or any of those other things, so it doesn't go there. Now, maybe Blu-ray really is going to be the last optical technology that ever comes out. Maybe. And maybe people will just do digital uploads and downloads. Maybe. But, geez, it seems like a pretty easy thing to do to license some Blu-ray tech. I don't know. Maybe. This is 2010. Maybe Steve will have been right, and we'll all have been wrong about Blu-ray and spending any money on it. If I get any comments at all about the build on YouTube, I suspect some people will be surprised or make fun of the fact that I am a Velociraptor apologist. And I know I talked about them when I was putting together the first version of this computer, but here we are again. And, you know, I mean, you do the Windows test on them, and it doesn't come out with the highest possible Windows experience score you can get. I'm not sure what it would take to do that. Maybe SSDs and RAID 0, I'm not sure, but you know, again, over the full 1.2 gig of this combined storage, I'm going to have the speed that these provide, and it's a lot faster than a standard hard drive, and but not as fast as SSDs. It's just a compromise that I made in this machine, and that it is what it is, you know. I mean, I could have gone with an SSD for the operating system and then put a regular hard drive in for the data, but I chose to do it this way. And I think that for right now, you know, in this time period, that's the best choice. Another thing I like about these Western Digital Velociraptors is their stability. I have a machine that I built in 2005, and it's a Pentium D dual core. And I have Raptors in that machine, not Velociraptors, they weren't invented yet. But Raptors, and they're in RAID 0, and I think they're 35 gig apiece, so, you know, state-of-the-art 2005. And they're still running. That machine is still up. It won't even do the Cinebench graphics test, and it scores less than 1 point on the Cinebench CPU test, but it's 2010, and it's still around. I still use it. I have to say the video card has been a pleasant surprise. I wasn't sure about the 465 if that was too much of a compromise card. I guess that's just me being out of touch with reality. I was playing The Witcher in 3D with the NVIDIA 3D glasses, and it really blew me away. And I mean, I've seen a lot with respect to gaming, and it doesn't, you know, I'm not surprised by great graphics anymore. I've seen plenty of examples of great graphics, but with the 3D immersion, you know, you look and you see the torches burning on the side of the wall in the castle, and it looks realistic, and these great, terrific arches and sort of decay environment. It's just really very realistic. It adds something to the game. It really did. It added something to the mood. It might have also caused a little nausea, but, you know, small price to pay for realism. Oh, we're making progress now. We've got pretty much everything mounted and plugged in. And of course, the twin of this one is now the fastest computer. It did really well, too, on the Cinebench and tests. And of course on the Windows test, which I'm showing you in the video. But some of the other ones did pretty well too. I have a Q6600 that I built 3 years ago with an 8800 video card, and that's it's holding up. I was pleasantly surprised. Of course, the sweet spot, some of these other AMD, I've got another AMD machine that is a quad core. It cost like $100 for the chip. And the machine, I mean, tops was $600, so that one holds its own. You can't really touch this stuff, but in terms of just being a basic Windows machine, you couldn't go wrong for a whole lot less than it cost to build this. Okay, those of you who get squeamish about bad cable management, you know what's coming, because this is a Thade video, and Thade doesn't do cable management. He just leaves that to chaos and disorder and disarray. So if bad cable management is too horrifying for you to watch, you better skip ahead or turn off the video. Okay, let's post it up. Love the sound of that beep. Okay, a couple things on here. So you've got SATA 1, SATA 2. Those are both the Velociraptors. And we have the DVD on a different, the Blu-ray rather, on SATA 6. So the reason we're doing that is so that we can, the way they have this set up, you have to do 2 different channels. So I will, but I want to do that after I do the flashing of the system. And what I've done is I have the new ROM on this disk, and I'm going to flash it right from the disk. I tried to flash it from one of the Velociraptors, but it didn't read it properly. It said that there was a block error, and I think that's because it was in a RAID and it wasn't reading off the RAID, but it'll read quite nicely off of a burned CD. So we're in ASUS Easy Flash 2, Start that up. Okay, so it's already, since there's no formatted C drive, it's recognizing the Blu-ray as the C drive. So you should update BIOS. Oh yes, because it's not going to recognize the Hexacore chip without it. I actually do have this computer hooked into an uninterruptible power supply. I highly recommend that you do that every time you flash your BIOS, because if you have a power outage, like right now when it's writing the BIOS, I'm told that it bricks the system. I've never had it happen, but I'm told that that's not recoverable, that you can do it, you can recover it by shorting something on the board, but that's more than I care to get into. So okay, we're back to rebooting. Now hopefully everything will have gone well, and we'll have press F1 to run setup, and I do want to run setup. So now we have, I want to get on the system information, and you can see the Phenom 2 X6 1090T is listed, and the speed is right, the RAM is right, everything's right, so that's good. It still isn't quite right, though, I don't think, with respect to the cores, and I want to look at that really fast. See, it says 4 to activate ASUS Core Unlocker. And it did that to me last time, too. I did that, it caused the machine to shut down and reboot. And I think that's part of the process, because now I'm going to go back into the BIOS, and there's going to be different choices there. Yeah, active CPU cores auto, so that we didn't even have that option before. You can do what you want there. I want to go ahead and have them unlocked all the time. This thing will default to 800 megahertz when it's idling, which is pretty slow, but when you have 6 cores, even that's okay. So that's how I'm going to have mine set up. Okay, a couple more things I want to do. The 6 cores are activated, that's important. Now what I want to do here is go ahead and do the SATA configuration. Now I have ports 1 to 4, I want to go to RAID, because I want to have those in RAID 0, but I don't want 5 and 6 on RAID, so I want that on IDE. Now I'll be able to have the Blu-ray as IDE and the Velociraptors as RAID 0. And we'll see how that sets up in a minute. Okay, here's the RAID option. Now I'm going to set up the RAID 0 in this thing as soon as it gives me the ability to access them. And then we'll load Windows, so Control F. Okay, here's the RAID system. You can see how they're assigned and everything. Right now it's single disk assignment. You can define it or delete it. I want to go with RAID 0, and I want to assign both of these drives to that RAID 0, and we can install Windows over top that. Control Y is save, and that's fine. Maximum capacity 1.2 gig functional. RAID is up. Now I'm loading Windows 7. I am not going to talk through that. I'm going to spare you that.